Now it's a bit different. It's not just that visual volume 2. We are going to be releasing them as single issues as well. Because after realizing that the solicitation deadline for this year have already been blown, and the trade would release next year, so I literally fucking went and like, no, fuck this. Can we publish the can we publish it as a series of single issues this year and then do the trade next year? And they were like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, guess we're doing that. So the singles continue. So right now I'm working on the cover for issue 9. I wouldn't know empty bar because I've done literally hundreds of comics, and at this point probably over 1,000 covers. So hard to say. Very likely that you saw one of mine. They asked $100 for it. Yeah, I mean, uh, if it's like a signed issue or something like that, sure, that tracks. Or if it's like a variant cover, that's very rare. That's also a pretty standard thing. Thanks, Aaron Ducks. Uh, yeah, everything's going pretty fucking good. Can't complain. can't even remember what did I do for team. Oh wait, actually, was that in 2017? Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's one of those. There's like a set of interconnecting covers also that I did. I remember now. Been a while. Yeah, Philly. No, this isn't the cover for Death Vigil 2. This is the cover for the first issue of Death Vigil 2. So this is the cover for issue 9. Because due to the long time that you need to have in advance solicited a thing, Death Vigil 2, the trade paperback, cannot be published this year. And I want Death Vigil this year. So, turns out it takes way less time to solicit single issue comics. So I'm publishing six issues of Death Vigil comic first. And like they're larger issues, so they're all like hey Henke. stream die on Twitch? I don't know. It doesn't show here. Weird. Let me see. Seems to be okay on YouTube. What's the name of the program? This is Clip Studio. It's available through Clip Studio. So it's an online. They have an online store. It's a really, really, really good painting program. It's actually replaced Photoshop for all of my illustration work. Hey, Leaf. Thank you. Let's Hey, Eric. Is it true that I have an upcoming project for DC? Yeah. No, I'm not saying what it is. It's just a single 48-page comic. It's a fun little thing, but nothing special. Nice. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Thanks, the Jacob is stable. Sorry, I was just reading about some updates for Crimson After Hours. So that thing is getting fulfilled May, June, because right now it's getting printed. And then after that, we have to just get the Art of Sunstone fulfilled, and that's gonna be that. Well, yeah. Love to see things working out exactly according to plan. It's a nice thing. Yeah, I can't wait either. I honestly can't wait to have that book printed in my hands. But the one that I'm actually insanely looking forward to, that's the Art of Sunstone. Like that one is like just the very idea of having it printed that large and like with a nice box and everything. Like just listen, I've always loved art books. I have a fuck ton of them, and to have this as one is just gonna be like. Fucking same. is gonna be Letters to the Vampire Queen. For that one, I have no fucking idea if that's even gonna make its Kickstarter goals. Like I've, you know, I have a comic audience. Novel is a completely different medium. It's not necessarily going to get people going like, oh, I want it on this. So that one might fail. Then next year I'm gonna probably do Achilles Shield Maidens crowdfunder. We'll see how that one works. But yeah. Having said that, like I'm just Letters to the Vampire Queen is probably one of my favorite things I've ever created. Not probably, it's definitely one of my favorite things I've ever created. So I really do hope it ends up finding an audience, because god damn it, I fucking cooked on that thing. But at the same time, you know, life has taught me to be very realistic about these things, you know. Sometimes it doesn't matter how much you like it as a creator, it's yeah, finding an audience is a fair mix of, you know, releasing at the right time, having the right kind of reach, having, you know, getting lucky, really. And unfortunately, that's the uncontrollable element. Quality of it all doesn't even affect it that much at that point. It's just fucking weird. Yeah, Letters is gonna be like a truly luxurious book, where the more people we get on board to pitch in, the more illustrations the book get, which is gonna be nice because like it's gonna be one of those things where people who pledged, it's in everybody's best interest to share about the book, because the more people we get, you know, everybody gets a better version of the book. You know, it starts off with like 40 illustrations, but then, you know, if we reach all the tiers, everybody gets a 70 plus illustrations. Everybody gets like a double-sided dust jacket. Everybody gets, you know, that and the other. And then at the end of it all, everybody gets an audiobook version as well as a plus. So, you know, we'll see. Hopefully it works out. I think the idea is cool. I think the story is really good. And I know that the story is really good because every time I try to fucking do small edits and stuff and starts reading just a little bit to go, like I'm gonna work a little bit on this. Let me just look into this. Every damn time, no matter where I fucking pick up on the book and I start reading, I just don't stop. And then hours pass. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I was supposed to just read this one chapter for some checkup. It's like, so I know it's got the claws. It's just, you know, we'll see. You so want to see the dark medieval fantasy illustration from me one day? Letters to the Vampire Queen is gonna have at least 40 of them for the beginning, for the start of it, you know, and then after that, if things work out, about 70 of them. Yeah, I'm gonna, for the actual Kickstarter book, I'm gonna have a very, very expressive reader for it. It's gonna be very fun. Hey, warrior. Well, that's gonna be the cool thing because everybody's gonna be getting the most premium version possible because like that's how I'm going to structure the Kickstarter. So basically, as the Kickstarter progresses, it's basically gonna be not so much, there's gonna be a few like bonus things that people can get, but generally the concept is I just want as many books to sell as possible. I want people to actually have a book to read, to get invested, to enjoy it. I'm a storyteller. I'm not really in the business of collectibles. I want people to get something that they can, get hyped about, fucking start talking about, get excited. So that's my idea for that Kickstarter. Is going to be where basically 90% of the Kickstarter is going to be basically, hey, the more people we get on board, everybody gets a better book. Now on the side, like I said, there's gonna be probably some knickknacks and shit because, like, people like the tchotchkes, but that's not my priority. The big goal is to get the book beefed up, you know. So as the thing progresses, as it reaches its tiers, the book itself is gonna get juicier for everybody else. So a person who gets a basic book is a person who gets the best book. That's it. Like everybody gets the best version of the book possible. Yes, that feature is coming back. Issue 9 will be releasing later this year. And when I say people love tchotchkes, I mean me also. I am people. So I get that. But yeah, like I said, that's gonna be the big draw for me is gonna be the idea of making it so literally everybody gets the best version of the book, and hopefully by the end of it, because like the end tier is gonna be everything that you bought, and then you get additionally a free audiobook. Thanks, B Studio. They really nickel and dime you, huh? Oh, aren't there? Just can you send her some of yours? So it's the same outfits. It's them in the club. Thanks. You bought the lead drill. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll. The, let me see. Real quick. Real quick. Crimson after hours. Crimson after hours. Crimson, crimson. No, this. Mr. Large. Okay, where are they? Okay. Two. And it's copy merged. Alright. Yeah, these days I actually try to do standard way of drawing where I do line art first and then I actually have a really nice flatter who does the flat fills for me now, so that I can spare some time. Like that's kind of the whole concept. Is like I wanna mangaka my my process so that I can make more comics. And to do that, I have to change the way I approach drawing, which means I have to draw like a normal person and not like an ass backwards idiot. So I gotta be weird now. Emotions are one of those things that are very that body acting in general. It's uh, it's crucial if you want to make comics because without that, it's like making a spectacle of a movie with like really bad actors. Which it's been done, it's been successful. It's just tends to kind of look uh, underwhelming. It's like here's all the special effects in the world. Here's I don't know, fucking Mark Wahlberg. It's like I'm pulling him out of my mind just because of the what? No. Hey, Flicker. No, it's going great. Uh, Working on a Death Vigil cover. And once I'm done with this, I gotta jump into the Catwoman cover. Oh, absolute Catwoman. And then I gotta, after that, jump into the actual Death Vigil pages. Continue the volume onwards. I got about a few more months, like 3 or 4 months, until the entirety of the second volume is done. So I gotta get to it. Aw, fuck yeah, Henke. Gotta love that pink cable. It's like it's not even a matter of it being pink. It's just such an odd thing to see a pink USB cable. The only ones I've ever seen were black and white. I've never even seen them in color. Jesus, that is crazy. Paying for colors. What has the world come down to? Those really are some fancy USB cables, though. Not gonna lie. Oh wait, are those LED cables? Oh, okay. Now, see, now it makes sense. Cause I mentally I read that as USB, and that didn't even pick up. My brain's cooked, man. Yeah, for this we're good on. No worries. Hank and I are just here brainstorming. Basically, he's going to do. He's preparing the suspension sculpt of Ali and Lisa, the one that I'd recently finished. He's slicing it and prepping it, and he's also going to do an illumination on the base so that they get some of that disco light, you know. And I literally can't wait to see it finished. And then I'm gonna get it here, and then it's gonna take me fucking 6 months to paint it because my deadlines and schedules are so overloaded. But god damn it, it's gonna be pretty. Mysterious soundtrack. It's just basically stuff that you can get on YouTube that's copyright free, so that you can have it while streaming. Just look up DMCA free epic music in this case. I can't blast Blade soundtrack. That would get me a copyright strike. Although the only reason why I'm listening to this right now is because I was too lazy to find the Castlevania Symphony of the Night soundtrack. Because whenever I'm working on that visual, it just fits, you know? Just some white-haired dude slaying out some monsters, you know? It just works. Except Sam is way less twinky, he's more of a bear. Yeah, it's a whole genre, white-haired people fighting monsters. There's also a comic right now, what's it called? Shit. Something is killing the children or something like that. Again, white-haired chick slaying out monsters. It's like, listen, you got white hair, you have one fate in life. Either slay out monsters or, you know, to drop a meteor on a planet. Really, whatever comes first. Or that, but in those cases, the monsters tend to have white hair somehow. I don't make the rules. It's just how it is. Yeah, oddly enough, I'm not big on superheroes either. I've drawn them a bunch of times, but like, they're not really my thing. I like supernatural, I like fantasy, I like romance, I like erotica, I like sci-fi at times. Superheroes though, like there are superheroes I love, but like it's not my first go-to genre where I'm like, oh my god, give me some more of that. It's just, it's a genre, I'll read it. There's great stories in it. It's just not, like I said, the first thing I reach for. Yeah, I like that too. Hard to say. See, it's done really well in comics. Not often is it done really well. Mostly because horror is very difficult to pull off in a comic format. Not impossible, it's just very difficult. So it's like not everybody is successful at it. And also, it's so weird. Like so many horror comics that are amazingly well drawn and written kind of fail the color test, and they end up kind of the coloring ends up being done by somebody who just really has no feeling for that and just screws the pooch on it. And like it's sometimes it's like really good colorists. It's just they're not they don't feel that genre, and it's just bad times, man. Yeah, I like Gotham Crew. I love Superman and his cast of characters. Like they are the ones that I prefer. I love Spider-Man, but beyond that, my attention span drops off significantly. I love Shazam also, but like not the one we got in the movies. Like that was just. And of course, Wonder Woman, the goat. Master class, master tier character that just somehow gets really. She doesn't really get a lot of love, but it is what it is. Yeah, I'm vastly prefer DC. Like it's not even a close race. Like from Marvel, I love Spider-Man. That's it. Spider-Man's cast of characters. After that, you lost me. nice. Thank you, Tilif. Yeah, you probably picked up on my stuff because like I do a lot of different stuff, and a lot of it is also like silly joke comics stuff from like memes based on you know stuff that I like. So I get around, so people stumble upon my work very often. Thanks, Malik. Yeah, both Linda and I like to do stupid stuff with word bubbles whenever we have the time, really. 'Cause, like sometimes it's just you gotta finish a thing, and then it's like your brain is more along the lines of like, hey, I gotta tweak all the art and get the writing done perfectly. So the lettering sometimes falls behind, but whenever there's a time to breathe, we will do a silly. Man, that feeling when you jump into a cover for a thing that you haven't done in a while, like, painted anything like that, and it's just kind of like, still got it. Always feels good. Yes, the better to see you with. Oof. Oh my god. Oh, partially it's because everything is oversaturated visually. You know, you have so many things everywhere bombarding you, and you know, the fucking AI slop is not helping because it's just creating this deluge of same-looking things, and anything new, nuanced, or interesting gets drowned in all of it. There's that I've heard it once as a theory. There's like 90% of everything is scrap. So that means you're dealing with looking for 10% of something good and maybe 1% of something excellent. And that becomes way, way harder when we now have industrial scale crap spewing machines. Then it gets really fucking hard to find something that's gonna, you know, actively excite you. I felt it myself, so I get it. But the search is always worth it. Plus, also, it doesn't help that, you know, we live in a vastly, incredibly cynical, jaded times where, you know, people don't really share the good stuff. They don't share what they love. Everybody's too busy, you know, talking about all the things they hate online. So you don't really get what you used to get online, whereas, like, you know, people would find something cool and they'll be like, oh my God, this is awesome, check it out, you know. And you'd look at it and like, oh, wow, I actually like this. Where can I find this? What is this? I want more of this, you know. These days, it's like, oh my God, wow, I hate this. Oh, this is crap. Oh my God, this is absolute garbage. Like, what is this nonsense? What is this slop? What is this? Yeah, it's just these are very mentally exhausting times, but still we persist. We carry on. Yeah, of course, many our styles are looking the same because we live in late stage capitalism, which means if something is popular, everybody trying to establish themselves are going to claw over each other to copy the popular thing. And I know that's what ruined the first 10 years of my career, where I was like, oh my God, I look a lot, I love what these artists are doing, so I'm going to try working like them, and then spend over a decade of my work effectively writing with another person's handwriting, which, believe you me, is a very strenuous activity. So, you know, there's that. There's also the fact that, like, you have these programs, right? And they come with more and more and more features, and like they're useful features, you know. Clip Studio comes with a 3D mannequin, which, you know, a cool thing for people to kind of strike out a pose and everything. The problem is, it's being used by people who never really understood anatomy, learned it properly, learned how to do these things. Like they've always latched on to stylistic shortcuts, you know, like, oh hey, I like how they do it in manga, I like how they do it in this or that, right? Disney style, this or that. So they latch on to those things without ever fully understanding how a thing works and why does it work like that, but they will copy it, right? And then they will, these days they will often apply it over these 3D mannequins which you end up with this uniform look that starts spreading everywhere. And it's like I get it. I'm not dissing them. I'm not shitting on them. Again, like I said, all of this is a product of this late stage capitalism where it's very hard to, establish yourself. It's very hard to build yourself up as a professional because, people are like, make art for yourself only. It's like I disagree. Make art for yourself first, but strive to make it for those who will appreciate it as well. You're trying. The end game goal for an artist always has been to make art and make a living out of art. That way you don't have to do five other jobs and then do art in between. Those 2 hours uh, after work and before sleep. It's like you're trying to make art. You know, everything for yourself, but it's hard. So So people latch onto shortcuts. Again, speaking from experience, I know I've been there. Like like I said, when I started comics, my whole process was, hey, I like the works of Michael Turner, love the works of Mark Silvestri, I love the works of Alex Ross. So I'm going to sort of make this Frankenstein monster of all of that, amalgamate them all together, and you know, do a thing. The problem is, I was actively rejecting my own stylistic tendencies, which were very expressive. Because back in the day, in the 90s, there were like five expressions in comics. You had your stoic face, you had your sultry face with a variant of sultry face with open, parted lips. You had your anger face, you had your angrier face, and you had your angriest face. And that was what I started working with because I was like, that's how it's supposed to be done. You know, my initial style was very similar to what I have right now, but I abandoned it for a long time, all for the sake of trying to make it. And I made it into the industry. Like, that's the fucked up part is, it does work, but it's also one of those workflows and process approaches where it's like, it works, but it's gonna stunt your creative growth tremendously because you're going to latch on to the rules of a thing that's established by people who already knew stuff like composition, anatomy, color theory, all that stuff, and you're gonna latch onto it and copy that without ever fully understanding what actually makes it tick. You're gonna start becoming over reliant on referencing other people's work. Not using references per se. Like, hey, here's a photo of a person. I'm gonna use that to stylize and then turn it into something of mine. It's like, no, you end up kind of overly relying on, it's like, well, how do I draw this face? Well, how did this mangaka draw this face in this angle? How do I draw this face? How did this Disney cartoon draw it in that angle? It's like, at that point, you're not really expanding your knowledge. You're just kind of running in place. You're on a treadmill, just kind of trying to keep up. No, artists want to stand out. The problem is, if an artist tries to stand out, they tend to kind of get ignored or mocked for it. And again, I've been there as well. I get that. Now, that's not saying all artists want to stand out. There's a vast amount of artists whose whole idea and whole dream is like, hey, I want to draw like X. I want to draw in the style of Y, And it's like, valid, you're sort of continuing on a tradition built by others, and that's absolutely valid, Most of the comic industry is people continuing in the traditions of others. It's your comics most of the time are going to look like stuff that's come before. Sure, there's stylistic differences and recognizabilities, but generally, you're kind of working with some very similar parameters. But it is a very personal thing. It's kind of one of those things where it's like saying, oh, all the games are Call of Duty now. No, they're not. You're just not looking towards the indie aisle of it all. But I get what you mean, and I get what you're coming from, because I've seen it myself, so yeah. Yeah, photo references are an excellent way to actually improve. Because like a style is an artistic handwriting. It's a bunch of mistakes carefully chosen because they look good and left in, right? A person doesn't have, like, you take an anime or a manga character. A person doesn't have a nose that small, or eyes that big, or mouth that small. Eye, eyeballs aren't supposed to fit in to 80% of the head, right? Those are mistakes if you're gonna judge them by their, verisimilitude, the way they, like, whether or not they represent reality. They're mistakes, but they're mistakes chosen because when put together, they create a look that works. That's a style. That's the stylistic, approach where it's like, okay, I'm gonna embrace these things, and then I'm gonna work with the parameters of these things. So, like, on its own, a style is a great thing, but a style is best made when it's made from making your own mistakes. As in, I've depicted it often as when you're a child in a school, you learn how to write letters properly and cleanly, and uh, by the rules, by the book, right? But the older you get, the more you've done writing, the more your handwriting starts deforming these letters. They change shape from what they're supposed to be. They're recognizable as letters, but they're different. They're stylized. They are your handwriting. That's kind of the same thing when you're drawing, right? If you draw a lot relatively fast and faster, you're gonna start creating your own form shortcuts. You're gonna start creating your own language of shapes that's going to be over time become very recognizably yours. And then you can start making conscious choices along the path of that, and that's how you develop a style. But you can always kind of, you can always latch on to another person's style and just kind of build on that, or use it as a point of inspiration. It's all valid. The question is whether or not it's going to be successful. I had to mute myself. Linda is dying of laughter here. She's absolutely dying. She's gone. We there's a channel on YouTube called something like Living Ironically in Europe or something like that, where the guy from Balkans is basically explaining Balkans to people. And there's a, she just saw a scene where he's explaining the toilets in schools, and then he put the most Balkans thing over it, the most Balkans possible music over it. Heroes of Might and Magic 3 Dungeon Team. So yeah, Linda dead. It's funny because I know. Oh God. It's okay, honey. I get it. Breathe, breathe. I listen. I get it. I get it. You can't be quiet while watching that. It's just, oh my God. Oh yeah, she's fucking gone. I'm like talking here. Linda is dying. I'm like, what is happening there? I don't know about that one. I mean, listen, if this process is good for anything, it's good for practice. It's not something I would recommend as a professional way of doing things, but it's too late for me, you know. I'm cooked. But as a practice, it will do wonders for both your sense of color, values, everything, and then of course also your decision-making ability, which is one of the big speed boosters in creative work because it makes you, uh, do things. You, it makes you lock in on your more instinctual side of your brain and you just kind of go with it. You vibe harder. No, it's not that. It's I don't like it professionally because it's a thing that's if you're gonna use it professionally, you gotta already have a really highly developed sense for it. As in, at that point, you have used it as a process for a long time, where you don't spend most of your time fixing up stuff. Like the advantage of doing an inked or a drawn piece first and then coloring it is you set boundaries from the get-go and you know what you're going for. This is basically one big old vibe check on a piece. You just kind of, just going with the feeling the force, just doing whatever the fuck, and then hoping that it turns out right. And if you have a lot of experience with it, chances are it's gonna turn out right. But if you don't, chances are you're gonna spend an endless amount of hours just constantly tweaking and fixing stuff. And even after all these years, there are still times when I'm going to personally spend a stupid amount of time fixing stuff because, again, this is a very flawed process. It's got its potential, it's got its advantages, but it's one of those things where it's like it takes a lot of time to get good at it to the point where it becomes professionally viable. Maybe yeah, but again, on the flip side, excellent way to practice those skills. If you have the spare time and you have the will to go about it, I do recommend learning this as a method because it's going to do wonders for your decision making process, which, like I said, in creative work and especially professional creative work, the speed of decision making is going to be a massive benefit to you if you can train that up. Creative decision making. It helps you. It helps you. It helps you think fast when you're drawing. You don't have to. You don't have to spend a lot of time. What's it called? Thinking up stuff. You can just kind of start in, and immediately kind of go in with something that's gonna, look cool in the long run if you can pull off the other aspects of it. You can just kind of start building up. You start getting way stronger feeling for just well, how do I put this? How do I say this? Just the staging of a scene, the staging of poses. You get much faster at making creative choices because like one of the big ones is when you're working is like how do I pose a character, how do I illuminate a character. With this method, the more you do it, the faster you get making those decisions. You stop wasting time micromanaging that, and all of a sudden you start building up way faster. And like I said, it's not necessarily an ideal professional way to go about it, but if you master it, then it becomes beyond ideal. Then it becomes like you become a machine capable of like insane fucking artistic, you know, output. But it's like I said, it's not an easy path to go there. You know, you start working very much with the flow and just kind of just building up. your gestures become faster. Again, this is also one of those things where practicing, constantly is gonna, help you improve this shit immensely. But like, you'll be able to build stuff at a really, really, really intensely fast rate. You're gonna stop thinking in constructed elements. You're gonna start thinking in form flows, in colors, in bounced light, in ambient occlusion, all that stuff. You're gonna start thinking in illumination, like you're gonna start building up forms through that. And as you progress with that, you know, it's gonna get faster. Your decision making is gonna get even faster and even more clearly defined, and you're gonna have stronger and stronger vision for what you want to make. And that's kind of the gist of it. That's kind of how you start, improving with this method of work. Again, not necessarily one that I would recommend to people to go off for immediately, but it is something that I would very much recommend to people to start practicing on the side when they have the time. It it does pay off. And again, I'm still nowhere near done learning with this shit. I have good like 6, 7 more years of progress before I reach the point where I'm like, all right, yeah, okay, I've peaked. And when I say 6, 7 years of progress, I mean 6, 7 years of my workload of a progress. And I work 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day every day. So it's it's one of those methods that it demands dedication, but it rewards it. By the time you're very, very old, you're gonna be able to draw very well, and then you're gonna die. It's gonna be fantastic. How should a beginner intermediate practice that approach? You just saw me how do it, how you should practice it. Don't take much. Just relax and just start painting in shapes, just painting, exploring directionality of things, exploring light, exploring shadow, exploring color. Let loose. You want to do something, plan, structure, and shit like that. You go back to lines. This works best when you stop thinking. You just kind of like, hey, I'm gonna draw this. It's like, it's good, it's not, doesn't matter. I'm gonna draw it again. I'm gonna draw something else. Just do it. Just do it. Follow your dreams. That's literally my fucking workflow. Like, this is why when people ask me, like, oh, why don't you do like lessons? Why don't you do classes and courses? I'm like, I couldn't. What would my lessons be? Feel the force? That's what I do. Like, I can't help you with that. Like, I can help you with methods. I can help you with little stuff, and I've already pretty much posted all of that on YouTube. It's free. Have fun. Like, but this method is, it's that. It's you getting in touch with your inner idiot and just fucking going just yeah, I couldn't imagine an apple either. Then one day I did. That's how it works. You start by sucking, being terrible, being awful at it. And then you do that for years. It's like, but as you do it, you suck a little less. There's gonna come a time when you're gonna make an apple that looks fucking decent, and you're gonna be like, holy shit. And then for the first time ever, you're gonna have a point to look back and go like, huh, I wasn't able to do this before. I wasn't able to do this before either. Fucking hell, like if a younger me could see the shit that I'm capable of doing now, he'd fucking piss himself. He'd be like, what the fuck, man? But, that's what it is, The one advice everybody gives you, they're giving it to you for a reason. It's literally just keep going. It's everything in life is a skill set. If you pursue it enough, Bob Ross said it best. You know, talent doesn't exist. It's pursued interest. If you want to do it, fucking do it. And if you suck at it, good. That's the first step. Yeah. When I wanna play a new video game that's hard, you know, I'm gonna fucking die a lot. But then, you know, I'm gonna get better at it, you know, and all of a sudden it's gonna go from this game is bullshit. Oh my god, this game's nuanced fucking challenge is just the right type of tune where it's a perfect balance of difficulty. It's like, no, I used to say it was bullshit because it's too hard because I sucked. Now I like it. There it is, you know. This is why my other big advice to people is like, you want to learn how to draw? Start by drawing exactly the thing that you want. You know, the thing that makes you happy, the thing that excites you. You know, don't try chasing trends. You know, trends change. What's in your heart doesn't change that easily. And here's the funny part: if you draw the things that you love, you're gonna attract the attention of people who love the same things that you love. And then crazy thing, you're gonna start building up, you know, a community, or you're gonna start being a part of already pre-built communities where it's like people are going to appreciate that. You're gonna feel even more motivated, then you're gonna draw even more, and then you're gonna make some crazy shit, and then at some point you're gonna start building up new worlds, new universes, new things, you know, that you love, and people who love the things you love are going to appreciate that. There's your secret, you know. That's the thing. People often ask me, like, "Oh, how can you draw that much?" Well, because I'm drawing exactly the things that I want to draw. Even when I pick up you know, work for hire cover, which is a very rare thing for me, or a work for hire comic, I only pick up the things that I actually really, really want to make. And, you know, I make that. And because of that, I'm motivated. And because I'm motivated, I can make more and I can get better. What's the last game I'm played or am I playing now? I've kind of not been playing much of anything in the last year or so. I've been basically just kind of playing Destiny 2 until that kind of deflated, and then uh, I've played through the Guild Wars 2 new expansion. It's good, but like I just don't have the time right now for the full-on legendary gear grind for the new stuff. uh, I've played. I've been playing Destiny Rising. It's a gacha game, but honestly, it's been stupidly fucking fair. So I've been very much enjoying that one. That thing actually gets an expansion tomorrow, so I'm very excited about that. Uh, what else have I been playing? Oh yeah, I've been playing a fuck ton of Don't Starve Together with Linda. That's actually really fun. But it's a fucking time devourer when we start. Yeah, and that's the thing is that the art books are very much right about, you know, draw an outline and all that because they're trying to teach you through a method. Because the problem is with art is like, you know, how do you learn art? Like, do you learn it through methodology or do you learn it through expressiveness? If you're going by anything that's a structured thing, like an art book, like an art class, methodology comes first. You know, they're trying to give you, they're trying to teach a large amount of people by applying a system that does work. It's not the most exciting system, but like if you commit to it, you're gonna end up knowing more. My methods are, you know, I'm not a teacher, first of all. And second of all, my methods are literally like, hey, bullshit your way through it. You know, it's just like, just start vibing, you know. And the problem with that is like, you know, it's again, it's not something that I can tell people because it's like, it's a very different thing when I, after 30 plus years of doing this, start vibing, and you know, when somebody who's just starting is, you know, doing the same. It's not gonna be the same. This is why I always say it's like my method is not something that I would recommend as a method, but it does make for a good additional layer of practice, you know. Do your line works, do your stuff, and then when you have the time, if you have the motivation, if you have the inspiration, go for it. Try it out, you know, take it out for a spin. I believe that there are people who find it more comfortable. I am one of those people. I am people. I gravitate more towards shape than I do to line work. But I also believe that that's partially because of my history with sculpting. When you're sculpting, you're effectively starting with a blob and just kind of carving it away until it looks sort of right. So like I said, we all pick a path that's most comfortable for us, that sits best with us. Like another reason why I wouldn't recommend going about it this way is, this works for a cover, but if I'm gonna do a comic like this, literally all I'm doing is ego stroking at that point. It's like, I made a really, 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 really rendered comic. It's like, yeah, you could have made 10 really excellent looking comics instead of, doing one where you rendered every strand of hair. And those excellent looking comics would have made people just as happy, if not even happier. It would have made you just as happy, if not even happier. What you're doing is flexing at how much detail you can cram into a thing. And like that's valid if you've got the speed for it. At the end of the day, this whole line of work comes down to balancing speed and quality because it's a time delivery of entertainment. So you're creating on a deadline. And if you can do stupidly detailed stuff within a deadline, power to you, go nuts. But if you can't, and if you still insist on it, you're gonna start blowing deadlines. You're gonna ruin your career. You know. Now I got lucky early on. I've decided that my priority was never gonna be quality but speed, so that I could deliver stuff on time. And then as I got faster, I got more and more spare time to actually up the quality, which then resulted in me having a really high output of both. And now, I'm cruising, but didn't start like that. Oh boy. Yeah, I've been sculpting since I was in high school. Let me just show you something. Uh, this is the This is the kind of shit that I used to do when I was in high school. I was very, very obsessed with working in movies when I was younger. So this was my hobby. I used to make large, uh, like, sculpts of characters from movies. Like I was working on an arachnid from Starship Troopers. I made a full-sized Predator. It's like, yeah, it's clunky and weird and imperfect. But I was a high school kid. I was for my standards, fucking that was awesome thing to make. And then later on, I started sculpting with clay. And then when 3D became a thing, I got into that and started doing like a lot of 3D sculpting. Like 3D has become an obsession of mine, and now I basically make 3D sculptures where I make a statue, then I send it over to my buddy Henke here, who then slices it up, preps it, 3D prints it for me, and then I get to paint it. So yeah, I wear a lot of hats, is what I'm saying. Like, let's see if there's something. Like, currently, one of the ones that I'm working on is Actually, from my characters from my novel, Letters to the Vampire Queen, which I need to finish both the novel and the statue. Well, the novel is almost finished, but so is the statue, weirdly enough. So that's gonna be nice. Yeah. So I'm a bit of a jack of all trades. Yeah, I made that in high school. Uh, I paid for it with my, social status of being completely fucking detached from everybody. There's been me and two of my friends. All three of us were maniacs like that. And that's just some of the stuff that I did. I did dinosaurs from Jurassic Park. I did the Mummy. I did the what's it called, Stargate, Anubis, full-on mask and everything. I was obsessed with that shit. I still love it. It's just it's no longer something where I'd be like, hey, if they offer to hire you to work on movies tomorrow, nah, I'm good. I got comics. I'm a creation living in Croatia, right at the seashore. Yeah, I was never what you might call talented, but I was a stubborn kid. I liked things, and then I wanted to make things. Then I sucked at making things. Then I kept on doing it because those were the things that I liked. I think I've thrown away like 5 to 6 different versions of a T-Rex that I sculpted back at the time, until I sculpted one that was semi-decent, and then unfortunately never took a photo of it. Back in the day, I didn't have a camera. I was dirt poor. I made that Predator with like paper mache newspaper, fucking silicone putty, acrylics, random junk. Yeah, this is why I actually really adore working in ZBrush. ZBrush is basically, hey, here's a sphere. Start making a thing, and you do. Blob it on. Even the liquify tool, the way I use it, that's literally the move tool in ZBrush. So it's just like, my brain just literally ticks like that. Yeah, I think I'm gonna stop now. I'm gonna take a break because I don't want to I don't want to overcommit to it until my eyes are rested from it. It's one of the big things about illustrations. If you have the option, always work on multiple ones at the same time, so that you can swap between them, rest your eyes from one, get back to it, so that you can see what you're doing wrong, what you're doing right, and do your fixes. It just works better like that. This is why I always have about 60 different works in progress. Some of them are getting finished eventually.